Welcome to day 447. Today we are trying to put in the bathroom window in the cottage and the main window. As you can see, the light at the moment is coming through in the main house. Before we did that, we've had to come into another leak. So we've had a mains leak right near the front filter in the cottage basement, which has put about 5 feet of water in there. So that's now being pumped out. We don't seem to have a lot of luck with leaks at the moment. However, each one of them are, this one looks like it is a fitment issue. The other ones have been elbows or fitting problems, so manufacturing problems. So the one on the front of the house that we've obviously been reporting on in the last week, that was a faulty elbow. We've had a faulty one-way valve. This one seems to be, from what I can see, an issue with the actual fitting on the actual filter itself. So that's being pumped out as we speak, which I will show you in a second. But in the meantime, let me show you. We're going to be able to get it into there is a different matter. Just starting to take this out as we speak. So the frame itself is in the garage. There's the glass. There's the frame. So we're just going to see whether we can get the frame in there. Now we started with the bathroom window today, and we literally have 3 inches one side too big and about 1.5 inches too big on the other side. So we're now having to board that up and fill that with block and concrete. Otherwise the window will just fall through. So Sherwin's out there at the moment actually mixing up some cement and getting that done. And I'm here with a friend just looking at whether we can get this frame taken out, and fingers crossed the bloody thing goes in there. That's going to be a problem. I can see that being a slight issue. But the window will go in from the front as an outside. So what we might be able to do is come into this corner and then come back round, because that recess at the moment isn't there. So we'll be able to put the window right back to here, which is where it's going to sit. And fingers crossed, it'll go in simple and there won't be that much of a gap all the way around it. That's my hope. However, you know my luck. So the bifolds that we put in, which I've uploaded the video from last week, that went in. It was difficult to put in, but the gapping around it was perfect. The bathroom window has been a disaster, so that's now got to be plastered and also blocked. We've got to put block slices in there as well, because the gap is just too big. So I'm hoping that this one is going to be straightforward. Please. And then also need to get the water out the basement as well and get that dried out. Now we would normally in England put a humidifier in there to draw the water out. Really should do that as well at this time, but again it does get hot and there's a lot of breeze coming through there. I put the 4-inch boreholes in the actual the foundation, if you remember rightly, so the water poured out of that. If they hadn't been there, the whole thing would have come up into the whole room. So there was one saving grace. But anyway, before I carry on, obviously give me some comments and some thumbs up below. That'd be great, and I'll update you with how we're getting on with this monster as and when we go. Thank you. Okay, so we're now out completely. We're going to try and put the frame in from the outside. So we've got a little bit of a recess in here. This piece here has actually got a recess here for the window to sit up against this side and this side. So yeah, let's try and get it in from the outside and see whether it fits in nicely. Okay, frame is in. So I'll show you a quick look at the minute, but it's reasonably straightforward, this one. Just the bathroom window, unfortunately, has been the pain. So let me quickly show you. Not a great deal of balancing needing to take place on this. It's one solid pane, but as you can see, packers on one side, quite a bit of bad concrete there. Should have really finished that off before it went in. Everything else is absolutely fine, packers, screws. So I put 4 down this side, but I will put a 5th in a minute. That one spins around, unfortunately. This one here's got 2 at the bottom, 12 inches apart, 1 middle, another 2 12 inches apart, and then I'll fire 3 into the base as well. Before the glass goes in, I'll cover them with a bit of grease, just to make sure that whilst they're internally, they're a bit more protected, especially these bottom 3. So we're going to go and get the big bit of glass and try and get it in from the inside now. So fingers crossed the glass is all good as well as the frame, and it goes in, and then it's just a case of us finishing it off, thank God. But anyway, that's where we are. So the only downside, obviously, is didn't really anticipate this. So obviously got the 2-inch, 1.5 to 2 inch conduit off the wall here. We're going to have to finish this off, but obviously it can't go to here. I was expecting the frame to be wider. There is a finishing bead that goes in here, but the finishing bead itself is only going to be about the same width as this. So it is going to be backwards, and the same over here as well. We obviously got this bit here. We can smooth that off and then plasterboard this and lose it in here somehow. So it looks like we're going to have to smooth that at an angle into plasterboard down to here, and we might have to do the same there as well, which is a bit of a pain. The other thing I could do, obviously, is maybe put a bit of plasterboard on that wall in there, paint that white, and just do a little bit of a return, so it's like a little step to recess. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do on that one, unfortunately. But anyway, it's gone in nice, silicone down. I should have packed it really. I mean, there's not a great deal of movement underneath, but again, the weight of the glass will bring that down a little bit. So let's go and get the glass and shove it in and see what it looks like. Okay, so now we're looking at the logistics of getting this upstairs. We managed to break into the crate. The crate is huge. We're now left with this monster. So apparently it weighs 240 kilos, but obviously it's quite tall and pretty long. And obviously once it gets inside, it's also got to be turned up that way. And you can't put it on the floor, obviously, otherwise it will damage and could blow. So trying to lift that up is going to be pretty tough at 240 kilos. Can't take it through the side there because there's not enough room really to get up there and spin it sideways. So the best option is to potentially take it through the front of the house. But if we take it through the front of the house, there's quite a steep set of steps, as you know, and then it's a straight run down to the window at the back. But obviously trying to get it up is going to be pretty difficult. And then thinking about putting some ply sheets on here so we can actually lay it on the ply sheets and try and just lift up in small increments. But obviously as soon as you start getting it to the point where it's at an incline, the weight, especially at the bottom, is going to get huge. So maybe put a second piece of ply a little bit over, like a bit of a seesaw, so we can actually get it up and then slide it in. That's probably going to be the best bet. If we can try and put it on something and slide it down the hallway, that would certainly be the best option. But again, it's so tall, it makes it very, very awkward to manoeuvre it. So, we've also got the crate itself is actually on some poles at the moment, which we use to roll it in. And the downside is it's now made it very unstable. As soon as we try and lift the weight off, it wobbles like you wouldn't believe. So it's not ideal. And again, bloody heavy, so not able to lift it up in order to get those poles out. So anyway, it's going to be a task. So I think we need to bring in a couple of extra people just to make sure we've got more people than not, because it's definitely going to need some muscle to get it up over the steps, because the seesaw-wise, it's going to need to, in order to clear it, it's going to have to either go up, and it wants to try and come down. The people taking it in are going to try and come down. It needs to be brought up. It's going to be a bloody nightmare. So I think certainly putting it on the ply sheet and using the pliers as a seesaw is going to be the best thing to do. But anyway, so welcome to my world. Give me some comments below, let me know how insane I am. Anyway, I'll check in soon. Okay, so 4:30. Didn't film the dramas. It involved getting Tyson out of Oystins with a friend of his, getting Chris, neighbour, thank you neighbour, and also Walter, my great friend, and Sherwin and myself, and some very cheap window suckers from Home Depot, or B&Q as we say in our area. They've just been taken back, by the way, to lump in this monster. Now the only downside I do have with it is I've got to decide what to do with the wall, because the window is not actually central, because we're not going to take the wall all the way down, or at least at the moment I'm not. I may have no choice now I'm looking at it. But anyway, it took 5 of us to load it in through the front door, so thank God we do have a big front door. And also then we had to spin it around because it came in sideways, then we had to get it up in the air in order to get it in. But anyway, I think you'll agree, the light that it lets through is absolutely unbelievable. The finishing beads go on so easy. Exactly the same window, Cortizo, exactly the same ones over the road. The ones over the road just literally do not go in. These ones, absolutely brilliant. So anyway, it's in. It's fixed. I need to work out what I'm going to do here. Am I going to take this height, this depth difference here all the way down, or am I just going to dab and board it? It does mean that from here, you're going to see a difference here. So this will be flush and this will be out. And obviously from this side, you've actually got it looking like that. So not ideal here, obviously, but looking down the hallway, do I want to see symmetrical, or would I rather see it as it should be? So can't do anything with the walls are the walls. So there's nothing we can do on that. We can't take that one back. So it is what it is. From here, you can just about see the glass. So we could pack that one out as well and do it so you can just about see the glass on that one as well. So at least then from the back of the hallway, it will look, it looks symmetrical. This one, obviously, we're going to leave it as it is probably. We're going to board the wall and have like a step here, like I said on the video earlier on. So anyway, So, leak has been sorted out. Ah, the leak. This will make you laugh. Semi made me laugh. So God's been testing me today. So our leak downstairs in our basement was our filter. So it wasn't our plumber. It's cracked all the way through. So this is meant to be heavy duty, they call it. So God knows what's happened, but it's literally cracked all the way through. So they obviously don't do that on its own. 200 of them coinage, you've got to go and buy another one. So I went down in the basement, turned on the mains, it poured straight out the side, it led me to where the water's coming out, saw the crack, removed it. Now I can go back and fit the new one and turn the water back on, fingers crossed. Hopefully that'll be another thing ticked off the list today. So we managed to bust into this bloody thing. Jesus Christ. I know they need to be safe because it's glass, but getting into it was an absolute nightmare. So anyway, got into it, got the window in. We're having a problem with the 2-foot bathroom window, like I said on the video earlier, because the window itself, the window opening itself, is about 4 inches too wide. So I'm not too sure what's gone on there. So we've had to, unfortunately, create loads of mess. We've had to mortar this with a couple of levels, because obviously it's quite big and thick. And this one's had to be smoothed off as well. So that one's come in by about 3/4 of an inch. This one's come in by about 2 inches, and then we're going to have to smooth that off, and then we're also going to have to take this out. As you can see, it's not straight. So it's probably about at least ½ an inch out at the back. So we're now going to have to obviously redo this inner edge as well. So bathroom finished off, undusted, looking lovely. Now getting covered in dust, and none of it's straight, by the way. So when the window's in, it looks a little bit of a dog's dinner. But anyway, look at the bloody window over there, look. What's that water? So the window's in. The one thing I do wish I'd done now that we've had the window here, and we've actually got it sized up, is I wish I'd actually got the window open and finished off first at the top and the side before we put the window in, because now we're gonna have to try and do it after the event, which is never ideal. But I just wanted to get it in today, otherwise we'd have a building unsealed. But yeah, what an amazing window. So anyway, I shall put the filter housing on and hopefully that will solve that. We'll get the windows cleaned and all the rubbers into the windows as well. And then that is another day in Barbados with daily challenges, which I seem to get plenty of. But anyway, I shall probably load up later on tonight this video. So I hope you liked what you saw. Hope you feel my pain. I've definitely grown again today as a human being. But I will check out for now. Don't forget to give me a like and some comments below if you don't mind. And I'll also load up the video that I haven't loaded up from Friday as well. So enjoy watching, and I will check in with you guys again soon. Thank you. Okay, to finish off the evening, we're all done downstairs. The leak is sorted. It was literally just a split in the actual filter box, so that's now been done. And the kitchen fitter, Lloyd, has finally come. So the corian top is now in with a slight bevel splash back, as you can see. Tap is in, but it's got to be plumbed in, and so is the actual soap dispenser. So it's just finishing off the plumbing, which will be taking place tomorrow. But obviously we've got like a little return all the way around that. So that will be siliconed in. Doors are being sorted out tomorrow. Do we go with legs on the bottom of the carcasses or keep them floating? Floating is quite cool, especially if we put a little bit of LED underneath there. So we'll think about that. And it's just matching the colour of the door and the finish. At the moment, the dark grey, the flat dark grey, it's proving very difficult to match. So we may have to get all the doors replaced and go with a solid colour right throughout the whole thing. Otherwise, we might have one door a different colour than the other 4. So we do have 4 doors. It's just the one. Plus, obviously, the side end panels as well. So the end panel's got to go to the floor, and the one over in the corner as well. So other than that, we're all done. As I say, that's the puppy that split. I've never known about one of those splitting, but literally all the way through the middle, completely split. So we're gonna have to dry it down there now, obviously. We've actually put the flood sensors down there now as well. So as long as the internet can work, which it does struggle over here, then we should be made aware of any future leaks. Hopefully we won't have any more. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Thanks very much. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.